well FM were working together. It's almost like they had AOC G-Sync monitors because they were completely in G-Sync together.
Wow, it was brilliant. It was absolutely fantastic.
I'm sorry, I was reaching with that one.
it was a great. They almost had the energy of a tornado. I'm not going to lie. The way, especially Nutri with those howling gales, he's really repping that tornado energy coming through.
Well, I mean, after that first game, I certainly had a need for seat.
Yeah, I mean, I needed to sit down. Definitely needed a seat right there. Here we go. Rek'Sai banned out. Fiora going to be banned by FM since they don't have first pick. That was prioritized by FM on the first rotation there, so that's going to be banned away. Lulu being banned out too. I think for Ziviz, Ziviz likes to take Lulu to that mid lane, so they don't want to give him that. He's an incredibly powerful champion. We'll have to see FM just taking a little bit more time, and again, Sean17 not going to be getting that LeBlanc. They are still wary of the fact that he's a fantastic LeBlanc player.
Absolutely, and I think as well the Lulu ban, a lot of teams are very cautious of these protect the AD carry compositions that can come out. I mean, we saw over in the EU LCS finals, protect the Tristana compositions with the Lulu mid, Lulu top. They were so popular, and we've seen that around the world. But it is going to be JB locking in the Mordekaiser AD carry, or I assume it's AD carry. And he's going to be, and as well, Tundra going to be locking in the Gangplank. So we're seeing all of the crazy champions come out of this game.
Okay, so the thing about Mordekaiser AD carry is, yes, he's a ridiculous lane bully, but there are a couple of champions that do incredibly well against him as an AD carry, especially at the point where you're at this high level of mechanical intensity, and that champion is Kalista. Kalista is so strong against Mordekaiser because he just can't touch you. As long as you're able to dodge the support, I imagine the hard engaged support there's going to be with Mordekaiser, there is no way that Mordekaiser can do the damage to you, especially as with Kalista, you inherently just build a lot of lifesteal. It's really difficult for you to trade effectively with that Kalista, and I imagine with the Brown, they'll be easy at locking down this Mordekaiser. He's going to be basically walking bait at a certain point when Kalista starts to spike. As long as they get an auto attack onto Mordekaiser, I imagine Kalista will find it very easy. But you've seen the power of Mordekaiser. I mean, you've probably seen him a little bit in League of Legends. He is ridiculous.
You've seen the YouTube videos.
The fact that his Dragon Ghost can tank towers, tank Baron, solo Baron. I mean, the Mordekaiser is just a ridiculous champion at this point in time, but he has a very specific team comp. Now this Nautilus Mordekaiser is probably the archetypical lane that you run with that Mordekaiser. A hard engaged support that is difficult to get away from, and that allows Mordekaiser to just run in. Both of them are melee, so both of them just run in using that W, those chainsaw AoEs running through each other, and it's gonna be actually Toaster on Vayne. So shorter range AD carry, maybe a little bit more susceptible here to the Mordekaiser. Gonna have to be really good at dodging, but even so, depending on what we're going to see, that there could be a lane swap. Now, I imagine this would be a very difficult lane swap for Tundra to run into, because Gangplank needs farm to be useful. He needs to be able to start racking up those Black Serpents. They're called Silver Serpents. He needs to start racking up those Silver Serpents to get the upgrade on his ultimate. Going into a 2v1 lane means he's going to be a little bit restricted in that sense, but it depends where you're going to prioritize your win condition. Are you going to prioritize the win condition in the crazy powder kegs of doom, or are you going to prioritize your win condition in the silver bolts? Because both of them are very good in the late game. It just depends which one you value more. Do you want to give Vayne the free farm lane, or do you want to give Tundra the well, not free farm lane, but a lane that he's not going to get stomped in?
That's the question, isn't it? And Gangplank is one of those champions that if you can get the ball rolling, if you can get the keg rolling, then you're going to be able to just destroy those mid-game team fights. The barrels, if you can just land one before a fight on multiple members, it chunks people's health bar so hard. And there is no sustain whatsoever coming out from the side of TCA.
TCA have got a crazy all-in comp, though. I mean, look at it right now. You just need to look down the lineup. So this is, I imagine this is how the team fights will go. Orianna has her already. Either goes onto Gnar or goes onto Nautilus for positioning. Gnar gets a brilliant ultimate off. Orianna Bull Shockwave comes through, locked up with the Echo ultimate, Parallel Convergence on top of that. And then Mordekaiser just runs in, throwing his maces around, going, I'm Mordekaiser. I do all the damage in the world. And it's just absolutely crazy. So this is an all-in comp that really relies on their damage lanes getting ahead so that their all-in comp doesn't look pathetic. So you're going to be relying on Sean17 on the Orianna to be big and have a high amount of damage output. You're relying on Mordekaiser to have a high damage output. You're relying on Gnar to be able to sustain and even get into a team fight. You are relying on that Mega Gnar for the majority of your CC and positioning for the Orianna Bull. I like the team composition. It spells doom if FM struggle. And FM have got a team composition that you've got a low mobility mid laner. You've got probably going to be quite a squishy Gangplank, probably quite a squishy Evelynn, a very squishy AD carry. If they get caught up in this wombo combo, they're going to be finding it very difficult to escape it. So I love TCA's comp. It's really, really cool.
I actually think TCA have pretty much outdrafted FM right now. FM's composition is very, very mechanically skill-based. You have to play these champions extremely well, each and every one of them. If you don't play this correctly in the early game and in the mid game, they could fall far behind, and playing from behind with this kind of comp is going to be very difficult.
Vayne from behind is hard to play with, Victor from behind is hard to play with, Gangplank from behind is hard to play with. Like we said, either you go even or you get ahead with this comp. Yes, you can turtle it out to the late game, but I don't even know in the late game if they're going to have the ability, if a TCA play their composition perfectly, I don't think FM will be able to deal with it. It's just so much damage. Very high tanky targets as well, depending on how Echo builds. Now, there are two build paths. You go the solo queue build or you go the competitive build. Solo queue build is incredibly powerful, and especially with a Mordekaiser and a Nautilus as well as a Gnar, I imagine that the Runeglaive build could be quite viable here. But most Echoes in competitive play really go for the Cinder Hulk into like a full tank Echo build. There's also the build.
The tank Echo did get nerfed though.
It did a while ago. People are still playing it because it's just still strong. But the most popular build, I think, for Echo at this point in time, especially in solo queue, is Runeglaive into Rylai's. Just because it gives him a small tanky aspect, but also makes him incredibly powerful too, because Rylai is just such a strong item on him. And I actually quite like the Rylai's pickup here, because it allows better positioning in teamfights. You can slow down the majority of your team, which will allow JB to get into a good position, allow Sean to get into a good position, and more importantly, allow Mordekaiser to get into a good position, because obviously he wants to be doing as much damage during this teamfight as possible. Now, if Mordekaiser gets behind, if Sean 17 gets behind, I think TCA are going to have a hard time making their wombo combo work. But you've got to remember that they always have that wombo combo to rely on at some point. So, if they stay even and they're sort of struggling to get a huge snowball lead, one wombo combo team fight in the wrong position for FM, and they'll be going crazy. I'll picture this in your minds right now. FM are taking a dragon. They're all around the pit. Suddenly, Gnar rolls in. Gnar, everyone into the old wall, and then suddenly you've got a crazy fight coming out from TCA. Got to take a quick look at FM's composition, though. It's huge damage. Like, if you can get Keg into Chaos Storm, into Evelynn Ultimate, there's loads of damage coming through here. And the only worry I have is there's very little peel for Toaster, apart from Braum. There's no one else to peel. Yes, the Kegs can peel to an extent. They do slow the targets that they hit. But, you're relying on Gravity Field and basically Braum's peeling ability for Toaster. Toaster's going to have incredible positioning here. Now, we know Toaster as a British AD carry. He's high mechanical intensity, incredible positioning.
Loves Vayne as well.
And if this is a game for Vayne to go off in, this is a game where Vayne can go off and do very well.
And needs to go off.
Yeah, because she will be going up against high health targets, and that true damage will be incredibly potent against Bartiono, Jakamaka, and JB. All of them will probably be fairly tanky targets. You've got to remember that Mordekaiser does have that innate shield, which makes him quite tanky. So the true damage coming out here will be incredibly useful. They've just got to basically make sure that if they go into a 2v2 lane, they are just avoiding every single form of ability for Bartiono to get an engage. Because Bartiono just, if he gets that engage in bot lane, and they manage to, basically, more important, they get an auto attack onto Vayne, right, with Bartiono. That's really, really hard for Bartiono to escape that situation from that point onwards. Because Mordekaiser, obviously, they get the movement speed increase running towards each other. So Nautilus hooks Vayne in, gets the auto attack, and Mordekaiser just running up there really, really quickly with that increased movement speed. And then you start to chainsaw them down. I mean, I do worry for Toaster in this situation.
It's like the split second you actually get caught, Toaster's just going to be like, oh no.
Oh dear
it's
God.
happening, it's happening.
He'll have to get out of there quicker than the data transfer from a SanDisk SSD.
Yep.
We're going to get into game now.
But anyway, so we've taken a look at the bottom lane. We've taken a look. I mean, the mid lane pretty much just going to be a farm lane. Orianna up against Victor. It's not going to be anything too crazy going on there, aside from maybe jungle pressure. How do you feel these top lane pans out? On the grounds that we don't see a lane swap here, Gnar versus Gangplank, how does that one pan out?
Well, Okay, Gangplank does suffer against an all-in champion like Nara, especially a champion that gets inherently tanky with that all-in. So, you know, as soon as Nara gets level 6 and tries to hit Mega Nara, then Gangplank, if he gets caught in that Nara ultimate, I think he'll find it difficult. But earlier on, as long as Tundra just stays a little bit safe, uses Parley to farm as best he can, uses those powder kegs to get some poke down, you know, Nara's got a short enough range in mini Nara form where the powder kegs can easily get some damage down if he combos 2 of them together. So it all depends on how quick JB is with his auto attacks onto those barrels. If he can stop those barrels from coming down. We saw this previously as well. Ziviz and Sean17 just having a little juke out in that mid lane there.
Yeah, interestingly, up in the top lane, Candy Floss hanging out with Tundra here, just waiting for JB to go a little bit too far up the lane, but doesn't look like he's going to be doing it. Candy Floss just sneaking around at the very edge of his stealth range. But I don't expect much to come out in this early game. Dutch Owen's just going to be spamming out those Nara emotes.
Yeah.
A very, very standard start coming out from these teams.
Yeah, Ward comes down as well. So should Evelyn and, sorry, rather, should Candy Floss and Tundra look for an invade onto Echo's side of the jungle, I think they'll, well, at least Tundra will get spotted out by him. He's pinging over the side there. He could go for a crazy flash into the jungle because Candy Floss is making a move. He should get caught up by JB. There we go. Candy Floss going to have to back off at this point in time. Takes a couple of auto attacks. Going to have a little bit more damage now. And he's going to go back to his own side of the jungle. Tundra following him. Probably going to double jungle this out for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly how you would expect this one to kick off. So top laners going to be starting off in the top lane. Not going to be seeing any kind of lane swaps coming out for this one. Just very, very standard start to the game. But we'll see how the mid game and the early game is going to pan out for this one. Which team do you expect to be the ones that are kicking everything off here?
Well, you know, a lot of the pressure is going to come down, I think, from TCA. Interesting tactic here coming out from the FM esports side. Tundra, obviously doing most of the tanking here, but he took all of the Krug camp. Now, sometimes in double jungles, you have the top laner take the small minions from both camps.
Nutri could be in trouble, though. The bit of an all-in coming out in the bottom lane. Toasty getting chunked down incredibly hard, and now Jakamaka, they're stacking up the storm. The Ignite is going to be going down. Mordekaiser could be in trouble. He's going to be walking away from that one.
Yeah, level 2 all-in from Mordekaiser. Nautilus is very scary. But no Ignite burn for Bartioni. They knew they weren't going to get the kill. Nutri, on the other hand, I think maybe burnt Ignite for pressure. Jakamaka has got...
Sounds like a drink.
He has got the double pots, and they've also got the huge sustain through double relic shield as well, so he should be fairly comfortable in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And Candy Floss actually going to be going for a little bit of an invade here. Doesn't have any wards, so is going to be going aggressive. The smite actually just came out from Raisins. Maybe Candy Floss can steal this one. It is going to be finished off. But Raisins has been found out. He's in all kinds of trouble. The slow from the red buff is going to be there, but the flash over the wall is going to be enough to keep that Echo alive. And Mordekaiser coming down, Candy Floss should be able to escape.
Yeah, he's just going to run out of there scot-free. I think maybe he was thinking Raisins would come back. Jakamaka going to be out of lane for a little bit. Small XP advantage here going to be over for Toaster and Nutri. And the all-in they have survived, but can they survive the rest of this lane? Nutri going aggressive here.
Certainly is, and Bartiono going to be stunned up to kick this one off. Nutri with the Unbreakable going to block some of the damage, but Jakamaka stunned up against the wall. The Winter's Bite goes down. Can they get the stun off though? Toaster in all kinds of trouble as Raisins has entered the fray. The Ignite going to be going down onto the main, and he falls for first blood, but it's traded straight back across by Nutri, who flashes to safety. Candy coming from behind Nutri. He's going to try and get the stun down. Jakamaka, the red buff is ticking. He's going to fall as Candy Floss picks up one, and now the stun is going to come through onto Bartiono. He misses the dredge line, and that is going to be a double kill for Candy Floss. We've got a replay of that one coming up for you guys.
Let's have a quick replay here. That was a crazy set of fights coming this way. Here we go. So what happens here is Nutri and Toaster go aggressive onto Bartiono. They get a fantastic condemn, which is really key because it means that Toaster wants to go all in at this point in time. Bartiono is still there though. So Toaster at this point in time is sitting duck for Raisins, and you can see here Raisins has gone all in. But what's really important is that Nutri picks up the kill onto the Echo, and then the flash comes out from Bartiono. So they have gone all in this point in time, and it means that they're just sitting ducks for Candy Floss to come through. And this is great because it means that Candy Floss is now going to be able to snowball just that little bit harder as the Evelyn. And actually, the hook did land. but the stun stopped him from managing to connect to the wall. So Jakamaka's got a little bit of an advantage in this lane now, but it's not the advantage that they would have wanted. They aren't going to snowball like crazy, and Candy picks up 2 kills, forgoes that jungle item and goes straight for the Sheen, which means he's going to be all over the map looking to apply pressure now. Yeah,
absolutely. And that is a terrifying prospect coming out from Candy Floss. Just going to be going straight towards that Sheen, straight towards that extra early game damage. Raisins hanging around in this bottom side river, looking for the gank onto this FM bot lane. Yeah. They've already got 2-kill advantage. Let's see.
So they know that there's no flashes for the FM bot lane. They're allowing them to push here. This should be spelling alarm bells. Why would a Mordekaiser and a Nautilus lane? But but Ziviz is there. He knows that Raisins is in the area. Ziviz is just waiting. Are they going to try and catch Ziviz out? Yes, they are.
Yeah, they go onto Ziviz. The dredge line is going to be there, but a nice gravity field is going to lock them up. Jakamaka is going to be stunned up as Nutri is right in the middle of everything as Tosa gets the kill. That's going to be Bartiono stunned up. The true damage comes through, but it is going to be Raisins trading one across, and each of the carries from FM grab a kill.
Yeah, again, another little fantastic play here. I want to highlight something that just happened here in that replay, and it's all about the positioning of Ziviz. So Ziviz has come down. They did know something was up. Ziviz, before this, was just hanging around, and it meant that he was basically going to be the target for the all-in from TCA. What's the most important thing about this fight is that the real damage dealer, the Mordekaiser, gets condemned by Toaster. Toaster's condemned to lock Mordekaiser out of damage has been fantastic so far. And even more brilliant is that Tundra picks up an assist too. So basically, great presence of mind from FM to know that a gank was coming, because why would a Mordekaiser Nautilus lane not push you? Why would they, especially against the Vayne, why would they not push you? Why would they not want to reset the wave, especially, to get themselves in a mid-lane position? Well, they knew something was happening. They knew something was up. So really great play by FM there, and especially by Ziviz, keeping that flash until the last moment. Once the all-in had happened on him, he flashed away and actually kept himself alive. And it was all Toaster from that point in time. Nutri Toaster just doing a great job. And Candy, with that Sheen coming into the top lane here, has got that Spellblade.
Oh, beautiful barrel blade coming out from Tundra. The red buff is gonna not even be required. And Candy Floss flashes with the hate spike to pick up that kill. Textbook gank coming out onto JB.
Yeah, and that's because Candy got those 2 kills in that first engage. He managed to quick finish his, I guess it's the Rune Glaive that he's gone for. Yeah, he's gone for that Rune Glaive. So that was just huge damage coming down onto Candy, onto JB in that top lane. And Candy just making the best out of that engage at the bot lane that he managed to pick up all that gold with. Fantastic play. And actually, to be honest, on Candy's main champion, Tundra going to escape with a sliver of health there. You could even say a serpent of health. Lol. That wasn't a pun. That wasn't a pun.
Yeah, but I mean, so far FM are looking incredibly strong in this matchup. They've got a 2,000 gold lead on the board already at just 8 minutes in this game. And I mean, we were talking about they needed to get the lead. They've got it so far, but Candy Floss going in onto Raisins has to flash over the wall. A nice ultimate from Tundra. There's the laser, though. A nice ultimate from Sean to keep himself alive. Flashes over the wall, pulls himself to safety. But it is going to be the blue buff secure.
And this is the Candy Floss Evelyn, and oh, it is so sweet. He goes right into the enemy jungle, has the level advantage, has the damage advantage as well with that Rune Glaive. And Toaster in the meantime, 1v1 versus Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser.
Yeah, he is indeed taking a lot of damage, though. The anchor toss is not going to land, though. Jakamaka on 1 HP survives, though. The lifesteal is going to be enough, and now Nutri going to be the target, flashing over towards the backline as Tundra has to be peeled away from the AD carry. But they have 2 AD carries on this TCA lineup right now. But no micro. Toaster was just stood there the whole time.
I don't know, actually. That was an interesting play from Toaster. He was looking to get the kill onto Mordekaiser, but Bartiono, it doesn't actually matter that he didn't hit his dredge line. What matters is that he got into a position for Mordekaiser to proc his Harvest of Sorrow. So he managed to get that Harvest of Sorrow procced onto the Nautilus. And when you reactivate Harvest of Sorrow, not only do you get the shield from the damage, but you also get a small amount of health gain from anybody that you manage to get that damage onto. That's tiny. Oh, Tundra.
Yeah, I don't know about health gain. Health loss is going on right now as Tundra is going to be taken down. There's the Ghost Dragon on the field. And this, I mean, I don't see any way that FM defend this bottom lane tower against the Dragon.
Yeah, the Dragon is a great sieging tool. Candy Floss picks up a straggler. Candy Floss picks up a small straggler there. Yeah, so Ziviz didn't count on the he basically didn't count on the heal from Harvest of Sorrows. Look at the damage coming out from that Dragon.
But look at the damage going back onto the Dragon with those true silver bolts. They've nearly finished it, but Toaster has been forced out of lane here. The Dragon is going to fall, though, importantly. And now Jackamak is tanking the tower for a little bit too long. Candy Floss, he's actually just going to go for a red buff. I really feel like that was a prime opportunity.
Well, maybe, but you know, you're risking it because it's quite a heavy advantage here for the Mordekaiser, and they had positional advantage too. Candy Floss may be looking to get some damage down. He just denies a lot more experience from Raisins. Raisins has got 26 CS, hasn't even finished his first jungle item, so Candy Floss is just starving him at this point. Starving him from everything that he can, and actually that's not a bad idea, and that's what I love about Candy Floss's jungle Evelyn. It's his best champion. If he mains it, he's a ridiculous Evelyn player, and he can be so aggressive, and you saw it in that blue side jungle earlier. He wants to make something happen onto Sean 17.
He does indeed, who's in. Oh, the Chaos Storm damage comes through. That's going to be the ultimate from Candy Floss, but it's not going to be enough. He goes down. Sean 17 survives with the dangerous game mastery coming in. Ziv is going to have to walk away empty-handed.
Way too aggressive, actually, from Candy. I was just harping on about his Evelyn play. Far, far, far too aggressive. They didn't count on... I mean, Raisins had just moved from bot lane. He'd probably just gone to check his red buff, found that it had gone, and considering that had just spawned, he probably was then going to move to mid lane, seeing how aggressive Ziviz was being. So they had to count on a counter gank at that point in time, and they went so deep. I guess because Candy Floss had committed that hard, he thought, well, it's all or nothing now. I have to go that hard. So... too aggressive, got punished for it with the counter gank, but still not too bad for FM. They have a healthy gold lead, have lost that first Dragon, but otherwise everything's going okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're not going to be too upset with that one. As you say, they still are in the lead in this game. And in the meantime, a gold lead has started to spread. Look at the top lane right now. 40 CS in favor of Tundra. With Gangplank, I don't feel like you should be in the lead against Anar there.
Well, he had that huge advantage with the Candy Floss gank, and also JB had to teleport down to bot lane. Oh yeah, sorry, Tundra did as well. But Tundra just, you know, he is an incredible top lane player, and any small advantage he will turn into a huge advantage, and that's happening right now. Oh wow, I love that. That's a really cheeky Gangplank play. You might not have seen it in the top lane. He barrels in the brush, connects a barrel with it, and shoots the brush to proc the barrel.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. I like that play. You can see it here. There's a ward on that ward on that barrel, so Tundra won't get away with that. A nice denial by JB there. Candy Floss making his way to the bot lane, however.
He certainly is. He's not been spotted out, and the all-in's going to come in onto Toaster. That's going to be that bomb to knock him up, but Bartiono taking a lot of true damage as Zivis enters the fray. Look at the CC chain coming out from Toaster's going to go down. That's a kill onto Raisin's Echo, and no answer really from FN.
No, but they will get some damage onto this mid lane turret. Zivis may even get this. I don't think on this wave he might have to clear another wave, but they're going to reply with the bot lane turret of their own. How quickly can Zivis get this down? He has got a couple more auto attacks. He's going to have to clear one more wave, and it is a siege minion wave. And it looks like TCA don't care. TCA are just going to continue to push. They're going to get a lock onto Nutri.
Oh, Nutri is going to be caught up. Does jump away to his teammate, but Sean is not stopping. Taking a couple of tower shots for his trouble. Zivis should be able to take this mid lane tower, but at what cost right now? It's looking like they're trading it for this bottom lane tier 2. There are 2 AD carries as they've got the Mordekaiser buff onto Toaster as well. That's going to be the tower going down. Candy Floss trying to go in, but he just can't engage onto them. They're going to be able to walk away, but now Ziv is coming in from the side on that Victor. Are they going to be able to catch anyone? That's the question. Slow comes out from Raisins, and he's trying to back away, sprinting as fast as he can, but Tundra's headed them off. He's got the barrel. Look at the grid onto Bartiono. One more auto will finish him off. The Sean 17 trying to shield his teammate. That's the support falling, but everybody's so low. That's another one going down as Candy Floss flashes for the kill. But they can only capitalize with 2 people. JB teleported in and just gets annihilated.
Yeah, and they can't capitalize on that right now. We'll have a quick look at what happened there. I think it was practically all due to the Tundra teleport. He managed to get a little bit of a slow off, but I look more importantly about the positioning of the barrel. He stops the TCA team from moving through the brush, and that allows the Chaos Storm to hit onto 3 people. That's really important damage coming down here. And JB at this point, great condemn. Look at the condemn, fantastic, as he goes into the brush, and they managed to shove some kills there. More importantly, it probably will allow them to get some damage onto this bot lane turret, which actually they haven't pushed the wave quick enough. But there weren't any grand objectives to take off the back of that. So really, all in all, that was just a nice bit of kill, a nice couple of kills for FM, and some good goals. Here's Ziviz though, Shockwave misses.
Shockwave gets fluffed, that's going to be the dredge line as well. That is painful to watch for TCA.
Yeah, I mean, that was nice jukes, but also bad Shockwave, so bit of bit.
Yeah.
a bit of that, a bit of this, a bit of everything really, but Ziviz will walk away and he'll be fairly happy. He does have that flash as well, so he could have flashed if he needed to.
Yeah, a bit of this, bit of that. All in all, a recipe for disaster for TCA, and really not looking fantastic for them. 3,000 gold behind their FM opponents here. In the first game, they were behind for most of it, but they were doing a good job to stay in this game. Gangplank are actually going to be coming through.
Oh, here comes the Nutri.
Oh, Raisins, he's going to be knocked out by that laser, but they're not going to be able to really follow up on this one. But nice play. I mean, they defended the tower, and that was their main objective.
You saw Raisins do basically what most Echo players will do. They will threaten the dive with parallel convergence. In the top lane, though, something is going on here. Tundra's on the wrong side of nowhere.
He certainly is. And JB Jones is very ready to capitalize, but a nice flash from Tundra gets him out to safety. And in the meantime, vision of the Dragon area is going to start to be controlled here by FM. Is there going to be anything TCA can do to contest this?
Yes, I think with the Mordekaiser, the all-in comp they've got, Nutri gets caught out here though.
Yeah, maybe not anymore. Nutri jumping over to Candy Floss there, just trying to get himself to safety. Does not want to be going down right before that Dragon fight kicks off. Yeah,
and neither top laner can get involved in this fight. Tundra has got his ultimate available moderately soon, but probably not soon enough for this Dragon fight. He won't have an impact unless he goes back and then walks there, because neither top lane will be able to teleport. So this is all relying on a 4v4, and in all honesty, with a 4v4 without Tundra, I feel like it favors TCA, and I think FM know that. They don't want to be in a position where they have to start the Dragon. They want to be able to counter-engage it and get the engage that they want. When you're going up against a Mordekaiser Nautilus, really they're going to be looking for the engage, and if they get the engage that they want, it will be on their terms, and that will be Mordekaiser basically wreaking havoc. If you can counter-engage, get them in a position where they can't position well, because obviously all of this relies on positioning Raisins, just threatening parallel convergence there. If they get the engage that they want, then they can wreak havoc. So this is, I think FM know that. They know that it's scary. It's only the second Drake. They don't need to go too hard for this. They don't need to all in it. And they're going to try and just eke this one out so that they have Tundra's ultimate available should they need it as well. And Tundra going to apply pressure to top, meaning that JB won't be able to get there. But in the meantime, here we go.
Yeah, Candy Floss is going to get caught up by the Dread Knight. He's going to go down, in fact, but Placiono traded straight back across. Jackamaka going to fall as well to the ultimate from Tundra as Toaster starts to clean up. And that is going to be a double kill coming in from Ziviz. I feel like I've said that too many times in this best of three. And this is going to be a Dragon coming across here for
FM. Let's have a quick look at that. Oh, no, we won't have a quick look at that because I don't think we got the complete replay there. But that would be the Dragon off the back of that. I think basically what happened is they got the engagement to Candy Floss, which is great, but it's not the priority target that you want, really. If you look at it in the grand scheme of things, getting Candy Floss locked down, yes, it's brilliant, but it's not the biggest of impact.
If he's got his ultimate off, he's done his job.
Exactly, if he's got his ultimate off, which he did, he's done his job, and that allowed him to survive for a couple more seconds. They had the Gangplank ultimate off, which I think was basically game-changing for that ultimate. It did damage across the entire team, slowed them down, it allowed Ziviz to get a fantastic ultimate off, and allowed Vayne to just basically chase around the side. Vayne was untouched, and you saw it there, Ziviz and Vayne cleaned up the fight. So, again, TCA, they need to be very careful about who they choose to engage on. Interestingly enough, we're going to see the Rhyalize. Oh, here we go. Tundra, he may go down here.
Yeah, Tundra might just have been a little bit greedy here, but the Gangplank damage might just come through. He is going to get locked up, though, and taken down. And now they're looking to capitalize on this one. Candy Floss going to be knocked up by that depth charge. Can they follow through, though? That's going to be the shockwave to finish him off. Yeah. It's another kill onto Sean, 17, and maybe a tier 1 tower in the mid lane.
That should be a tier 1 tower. I don't think they'll be able to wave clear this. Tundra was a dead man walking right there. They just shouldn't. Oh no, they got caught out.
Oh, what a Gnar ultimate onto 2. Ziviz gonna go down. There's a shutdown for the Echo as Nutri jumps away to safety. He's gonna survive. And now Jackamaka trying to finish off Toaster. He's gonna be able to do it, but he goes down for the cost of it. So TCA, they do manage to get the ace in the end. Beautiful play from them.
All of that was basically they weren't respecting the engage that TCA could output. That's the engage I was talking about. Gnar ultimate into an all-in from their competition, but Tundra walks in, one parley to the face and picks up a kill, so it's not all doom and gloom for FM. And he will just back off. That all started because Tundra probably should have just been left alone, but unfortunately Candy Floss just committed a little bit too hard to that situation. Okay, so we just getting a message from the answer. We basically, Tundra got caught out there. He should have died and just been left alone, but unfortunately flash engage is coming out, all ins, Candy Floss went down, and then they just didn't respect the flash Gnar ultimate. Gnar was in Mega Gnar form, that definitely could have happened. Tundra probably going to walk away with this buff. Yes, he is.
But tried to sneakily steal that.
And that should have been basically just a turret, and that was it. But FM wanted to try and defend it when they just shouldn't have, and there we go. That was all she wrote. I'm interested about a couple of the builds coming out here. We have that very tanky, yet still heavy damage build coming out from Candy Floss. I like the Ryalize. I think someone having Ryalize was a really good shout here. If you get a good ultimate from Evelyn, that is magic damage, that will allow everyone to be slowed down, as well as the ultimate coming out from Gangplank, and allow Zivis just to get fantastic ultimates off and allow Vayne to chase a lot harder.
Actually, the Chaos Storm going to be used in this mid lane. Jakamaka stunned against the wall, but Raisins might have gone a little bit too deep here. The Shockwave is flopped! Short 17 does it on his own head as a 4-man ultimate comes out from Candy Floss, and TCA are falling apart and they're falling to the ground. Double kill comes through for Tundra. Raisins now going to be slowed down, but a nice Q out of him. Timewinder going to slow everyone on the FM lineup. And they're not quite going to be able to get the ace, but a 3-for-0 is going to be more than enough for them. And Tundra's not had enough just yet. He's chasing onto JB. But I don't think he's going to be able to finish off that sneaky little Gnar. Nutri throwing out that Winter Spike, but can't quite connect onto his target. But JB now gets condemned against the wall. Leaps to safety, though. FM playing this one so dangerously.
Yeah, that was a crazy fight right there. And actually, the most important part of it is that none of the flashes were up for JB. They didn't have the Mega Gnar there either. So there was no way for a reliable engage. And that was the engage that FM were looking for. TCA Raisins came round from the side, hoping to get a fantastic engage of parallel convergence, but he was isolated because both Mordekaiser and Nautilus had backed off too far away from him, and he just, he basically left himself in no man's land. But brilliant play coming out from FM, and they managed to get a turret for all of its worth too. And Vayne is starting to snowball at this point in time. And really importantly, the Locket of the Iron Solari is finished on Nutri as well. Against a composition like this, Echo, Bartio, Echo, Nautilus, Mordekaiser, and Orianna, that's a quadruple AP threat. And actually, Gnar does some AP damage in his hyper if he can get 3 auto attacks off, so even then it's useful a little bit against him too. So nice itemization coming out from Nutri as well. Yes. That was ridiculous. I mean, I got lost in that team fight right there because it was just really extended, but it came out really well for FM.
Yeah, absolutely. And FM now with a 9,000 gold lead up on TCA. It's starting to look a little bit dicey for them. They might end up falling or losing sort of control of this game. They were looking fantastic. They managed to ace FM, but looks like that's not really going to be going in their favor anymore. And I mean,
look at the CS difference between Tundra and JB. That is 100 CS. Gangplank has 2 core items. He's going for what looks like, I imagine it's going to be Youmuu's Ghost Blade to add to his crit and add a little bit of magic. Zivis probably going for the bait here.
Yeah, Barciono, maybe this wasn't the best engage ever. Again, Sean's ultimate is just not doing enough. This Toaster is free to roam and do whatever he pleases. He's going to finish off Jakamaka. And now that's going to be a 4th member coming down. Toaster gets himself a double kill. JB Dutch Owns even, can't even get into the fight.
So we're going to have a look at that again. Look, they go on to Zivis thinking it's a free kill, but no one's dealing with Toaster. Shockwave only hits 1, that's really important. Look at Toaster's positioning on the outside. No one is touching him, he's just dealing with all the threats himself. And Jakamaka is left by himself, and the Mordecai as it by himself is just useless. And obviously off the back of this, they get a complete ace, or rather an ace except for Gnar, and that is going to be a free Baron. No way back into this game for TCA right now. They relied on getting ahead, they relied on shutting out the late game. Tundra, he's going to try and go toe-to-toe with JB. The ultimate comes down here.
Nice orange though. JB actually in a whole lot of trouble. Does flash away to safety, but Tundra very confident play. Just one-shots the minion wave there. Ziv is arriving to back up that Gangplank, and with his oranges, he's actually just going to be able to top himself up over the next sort of 30 seconds.
There we go. Vitamin C, you guys. Vitamin C is the key to winning League of Legends. Make sure you get your intake. Gangplank knows it. Yeah, this is going to be a free dragon. I don't think there's anything that TCA can do to contest. Like I said, I think their competition really relied on being able to shut them down in lanes, deny Vayne's late game, deny Gangplank's late game, where they've just failed at all of that. Toaster's also got QSS, which I think cleanses the Mordekaiser ultimate, so more importantly, they won't be able to get the Toaster clone. This is just huge from FM. They are miles, leaps and bounds ahead, and without a ranged AD carry, they're going to find it very difficult to win these fights. Now, Bartiono, I think this is the last-ditch engage coming out here.
Yeah, and not the greatest of engages. The Shockwave did land onto 2, but Jakamaka is going to be going down here. 2 kills over to FM as Sean falls as well. The support picking that one up. And, I mean, JB Dutch Jones all on his own here. The gravity field is gonna lock him up. That's the Winter Spy, that's the concussive blows, and that's the kill going over to Candy Floss. The last man remaining is gonna be Bartiono, the guy that started it all off. And he's not gonna be able to defend this inhibitor. No,
this will be an inhibitor down. This is basically beyond last chance saloon here for TCA. They are too drunk, they've been kicked out, and they're now lying on the curb, probably feeling very sorry for themselves as FM is starting to run away with this. Like I said, when you pick a Mordekaiser lane, you rely on dominating your opposing lane partners. You rely on that huge XP advantage that Mordekaiser gains through those Sorrows of Harvest of Sorrows. You rely on that huge XP advantage and you rely on dominating your lane. All of those massive fights that we saw in the early portion of the game in that bot lane, yes, they were pretty decent for TCA, but they weren't fantastic. Tundra, he's going to get away as well. Look at the damage onto Razor.
What is going on, Tundra? He can pretty much 1v5 at this point. Does the 1v2, gets the kill, and Toaster now getting chased by Jakamaka. Can he finish off? The Condemn doesn't stun, but it doesn't matter anyway. Toaster gets the kill. Now JB Dutch Jones all on his own here. A nice ultimate. The Shockwave comes through, and it's a double kill for Sean. Beautiful teamwork coming out from those two. Is it enough, though? 4 members are down for TCA, but Toaster's still here to push.
Yeah, nowhere near enough. They're going to get this down. You've got to remember that Ziviz wasn't even in that team fight, and they still won it. And Ziviz is 4-1-15 with a huge array of items. Sean is going to do his best to wave clear, but this is like running up Mount Everest backwards for TCA at this point in time. And their terracotta army is starting to crumble. The poor helmets are getting broken. They're losing their spears. And
I mean, that's one of those things when you make your army out of pottery. It is very easy to crack, and it looks like they might have been cracked here as Bartiono gets engaged upon. Once again, the true damage coming through from Toaster, who's able to just stay at the back of these fights. Razor's trying to get onto him, but just can't, as Jakamaka is going to narrowly escape this fight. Oh, he isn't, as Tundra finishes him off with that cannon barrage. The TCA just running with their tails between their legs here.
But there is one line of play for TCA, which is engage at every possible opportunity. This would have been good had they been even, but they're not even. They're not even close to even. Even is not even a word in their dictionary
not
right
even,
now.
even.
Yeah, even is not even a word in their dictionary right now. And you see again that they're just going all in here because it's all they can do. That is what their composition is meant for. And if their all in doesn't work, they fall flat on their face. And you can see right now, they've been parallel for most of this game.
They certainly have. JB Dutch Jones narrowly trying to escape with his life. Sean 17 being bullied out by Toaster, doesn't have his dissonance to finish off the job onto the Vayne as this top lane inhibitor is going to be falling, and now the super minions are flooding into the base. There's a massive wave on the bottom lane. Should FM even want that bottom inhibitor? Doesn't look like they need it right now though, as Toaster trying his best to just bully them out. The Mordekaiser ult is going to be nowhere near enough to finish off that Vayne.
I feel like the problem with TCA have had this series is all of their team comps have been incredibly one-dimensional. It's been, they rely on one win condition, and to be honest, you've got to say that their win condition was Mordekaiser. If Mordekaiser didn't get ahead, didn't get the advantage over Vayne, then they were never going to win anyway.
Yeah.
And the same with their last game when it was reliant on Trusted Faith. It's a risky team composition to make work. If it works like crazy and there's nothing you can do against it. But if it doesn't, then it's very difficult for their team to get back into it. Look again, here's an all-in engage.
There certainly is. Candy Floss trying to do what he can. JV Dutch is going to go down though. Bartiono, who's been left out to dry by the rest of his team. The Shockwave on to 3 though. Maybe they can turn this around. That's going to be Tundra in a 1 versus 2. He's going to fall as the double kill comes through for Raisins. And it's actually an even trade. Top and support go down on both sides.
But that was basically a 3 versus 5. So you're talking about an even trade in a very uneven team fight. And they've still got Candy Floss, Toaster, and Ziviz alive. And Ziviz is going to go push that wave in the bot lane. They've got Toaster right now.
Toaster, he's in a micro battle, if ever there was one, and he may well go down here, but the condemn isn't going to be enough. He's life-stealing for safety, gets the double kill. Toaster finally going down. Sean able to finish him off, but Ziviz is there. Just takes him out. Toaster, what a beast.
I mean, there's not much to say about this replay apart from Toaster's micro. Look at this. Actually, Raisins jumps out and actually doesn't proc the parallel convergence. Had he proc the parallel convergence, Toaster would have gone down ages ago. But look at this, just kiting back and forth, getting those silver bolts off. The condemn means that he can't get another ace of spades off, makes the spades off easily, and then he goes on to Raisins. Double kill here, and Sean manages to pick up the kill with a command attack. But what does it mean, really? Well, it means FM is going to take that last inhibitor right now. And the Chaos Storm right at the end. Well, it's been a storm for TCA, but not in the good way. It's been horrible.
The game has certainly been made of chaos on this one. Ziv is going to be aggressed upon by Raisins. Again, about the 5th last-ditch effort that they've had this game as Bartiono goes in. Ziv is doing his best to kite back, but Raisins is going to go down. A nice shockwave onto 2, but it's not going to be nearly enough. That's going to be Jackamacca falling as well. Look at the crit onto Sean. Tundra is doing Tundra has 2 Infinity Edges right now.
That is actually a popular Gangplank build because of the critical strike.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't. You get high amount of AD and you get the extra critical strike because you don't really need the attack speed. Why would you go for something like then Phantom Dance or really even Last Whisper? Static Shift. 2 Infinity Edges works really well. And look at, like I said, there's been about 7 last-hit engages coming out from TCA at this point. Usually takes a lot of damage though. They're having trouble getting these last 2 Nexus turrets, but it really is just a matter of finishing off these inhibitors and getting the super minions to do the pushing for you.
Oh, Tundra actually may be in trouble. He's going to use his ultimate on himself and isn't going to find anything with it. It's Toaster again in these micro battles. He's going to go down this time though. Jackamacca walks away with a sliver of health, but Tundra's there to capitalize. And now in a 1v1 against Raisins, he's going to be winning this one out as Raisins has to just use that chrono shift to try and get himself to safety. Tundra is going to be able to just walk away with the Ghost Blade, base it with the orange as well.
Oh, wow.
And that is going to be the game. I mean, props to TCA for managing to kind of drag that game out for an extra 10 minutes at the end. But
that game was taken down a horrible windy path with multiple potholes that should have finished a long time ago, but they kept making those last-ditch engages and picking up like 1 or 2 kills. Those 1 or 2 kills were really key because they were like big damage targets, so then
enough to keep them in the game.
Keep the game going. I mean, that was a 22 gold lead by the end of it for FM. That should have been over miles ago, and it always inevitably was going to go to FM because the longer the game went, they had Vayne, Victor, and Gangplank, all of who were ridiculous in the late game.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that game beyond 20 minutes was kind of TCA trying to hold on to an edge and FM just picking one finger at a time, just stamping on their fingers. And in the end, it is going to be TCA plummeting to their death. And it's going to be a 2-0 victory over to FM Esports. So congratulations to them. They are now 6-0 in the 2nd season of the UK Premiership. So massive props to them. We are going to be heading into a short break, but do not go anywhere because following the break, we're going to have Choke Gaming up against Team Pariah. Now, this is a matchup that could potentially go either way. Pariah, definitely not a team to be counted out, but they are going to be against those Choke Sharks. They're going to be looking to take a bite out of the Pariah lineup. So we'll have to see what happens after this